Everyone enjoys getting out on the town for some live music, and there's nothing like going backstage and down the hall for a VIP pass to the inside information and interviews with the bands, singers, and songwriters that you enjoy. Welcome to Hall Around Town Radio's Backstage Hall Pass, a showcase of homegrown talent, mixing independent music with personal interviews and a behind-the-scenes look at our music community. Backstage Hall Pass is your front row center seat to some great conversation with the area's most talented artists. Whether you like rock, blues, folk, country, or R&B, Backstage Hall Pass delivers you a daily dose of the stories behind the music. And now, here's the host of our show, Scott Hall.
Well, good Monday. Good Monday. Stormy Monday. It's a stormy Monday. Let's play some blues. What do you say? Good to have you with us today on the program. Let me see who's checking in here. I got to get the glasses zoomed in. Marie Smith. Hi, Bill Allred. How are you? Steve Stein in the house. Hey, Jeanette. How are you? Had a great weekend, actually. A crazy weekend of music we're going to talk about here in a minute for everybody. Hi, Skip. Skip in there from Liars for Hire, one of the bands we got to see over the weekend. And like I said, we'll be recapping all that in just a moment for you. We will. Hi, Todd. Thank you for being here. Dirk Turner is in the house. I got to get something slid over on the old prompter here. Hang on, everybody, while I make this work and don't screw it up. There we go. Well, maybe. And he did. There we go. Come on, baby. Slide. There we go. Why don't you slide? There it is. All right. Let's see who's out there. Dirk's in the house. Hi, Dirk. From Crying Out Loud. We'll talk about them too. Hi, Todd. Thanks for dropping in. Good to have you with us as well. We're having so much fun today. Gonna talk about you guys. And Glenn, the Wanderers are here. And Doug said it's rumbling his way. No rain yet. Well, my AccuWindow says it's dark outside, so it's going to storm here probably in a few minutes, but that's how it goes. So welcome to the program. 6th of June, man. The 78th anniversary of the D-Day invasion. I would be remiss. I do a lot of work with the veterans groups. In fact, wearing my airborne shirt right now in commemoration of the boys who went over there 78 years ago and ensured our freedom from evil. And those guys are heroes. They will always be heroes. They're the greatest generation of all. And 78th anniversary of D-Day. And personal folks that I know, Jim Pee Wee Martin, who I've emceed his birthday bash the last 2 years, Victor Speranza, rest his soul, Dan McBride, who passed away this year. And I want to give a big shout out to our friends from Beyond the Call. They've done a documentary called A Rendezvous with Destiny. I highly recommend it. Jim Pee Wee Martin, Dan McBride, and Dick Klein are in that one. And they're all World War II vets. And you think about these guys. I mean, Jim Martin got thrown out of an airplane, basically, jumped out of an airplane. At 1,000 feet in the air into Germany, didn't know what he was going into. Most of his unit did not survive. He survived and made it back home and is still alive today at 101 years old. So there is something else on D-Day I want to mention that if you haven't seen it or heard it yet, I will play it at the end of the show today. But Karen Waldrop, national recording artist Karen Waldrop, another young lady named Hunter Jorgens, and also Jurgens, and Jim Martin, 101 years old on his birthday, got to hear his song for the first time. They wrote this song together. It's called Normandy, and I'll play it at the end of the show today. And it's very fitting for this day, the 78th anniversary of the D-Day invasion. So thank you for being with us here at Hall Around Town Radio today. Thank you for those of you who brought us some shares over the weekend on our show, Who's Playing Out show. Little down, a little sad about that, to be honest. Only 1.6K views this week. A lot of people doing stuff, already knew what they were doing, obviously, but we'd like to keep that over 2,000 every week if we could. So don't forget to hit the share button on that and help support your local musicians and the venues that bring you live local music. And thank you to Froggies in Monroe for being a big help with that one and sponsor. Alex, how are you? Good to see you. Rob Paisley, thank you. Jim Kilroy is with us today. Good to have you. And there's Tiffany May. And yeah, we kind of bumped into each other a lot this weekend, didn't we, Tiffany May? That was fun. Fun seeing you guys. I'll talk about Short of Stable here in just a minute. Thank you for that flag, Glenn. Those fellas back then, they all volunteered to go do that and to rid the world of evil. And we couldn't be prouder of them and prouder to be in this country where they protected our freedoms. So we'll move on from that. Again, at the end of the show, I'll play Normandy. I'll play a clip from Normandy at least for you as we go out today. And hopefully you'll be able to hear that one on the program. But let's talk about our week in music. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Thursday. Started on Thursday right after the show. Took a trip to the Rose Music Center in Huber Heights for the Winger Warrant Skid Row Live to Rock tour. And yeah, unbelievable. The show kicked off with Winger. I will say Winger was the slowest paced group of the night. And thank you for that, Glenn. I'll post that up there to who you saw over the weekend. But let's see. Hi, Kelly. Kelly said it was a great show too. She was there. I got to see her. Good to see you, Kelly. Actually, I've got you on here. But I want to talk about these guys for a minute. First of all, it's interesting when you have a show like that. A lot of the crowd is 50 and up. Okay. I mean, they really are. It's interesting to see when that happens. And these guys that are playing, not all of them are original in the bands. Some are not. And I will say I was highly, highly surprised by Skid Row. And we'll talk about that here at the end of this little segment. But I want to talk about Winger. I've seen Kip Winger. I've seen him at a little place in Centerville called the Soft Rock with 90 people there a couple times. He did a great job there. He's the opener. They play their hits. They play 4 or 5 hits, throw a few other songs in, and they're done. I think they did a half hour to 40-minute set, maybe tops. Winger did, but still sounding good. Kip still got the pipes. He can still sing. And you could tell, though, by the end of the set, and Mrs. Hall around town even made a comment that it's interesting. These guys, it's a good thing they only do 45-minute sets because their voice starts to go at the end. You can hear it, and you could hear it in Kip's voice. But super nice guy. If you ever meet him, just a genuine gentleman. And his band, they rocked it. They did a great job. And I'm not going to dwell on it. I have so much to talk about, but I'll talk about Warrant for a minute. And the guys from Warrant, again, playing, Heaven, Down Boys, Sometimes She Cries, Cherry Pie in there. I miss Janie Lane. The lead singer is not Janie Lane. But they're still doing it. I mean, they're still playing their hits. The people love it. And, they did okay. I will say, I like Down Boys a lot. I like that song. And, Warrant, they were loud. They were certainly loud and, a little too loud at times, I think, for the crowd they had there. And not that I don't like loud music. I love loud music, but, they were at times a little bit overpowering with the vocals, especially. And Dirk says Robert Mason's a good singer. Yeah, he's a great singer, actually. And anybody that can hang with those tunes that were original back in the 80s, they were hitting all those high notes and such. And like I said, I could say so much about that show. I could talk about it all day long here, but I want to get to Skid Row for a minute because this was interesting. Skid Row was the closer, and I think they're rotating some of that, actually. But, there's Dave the Snake Sabo is still in there. Rachel Bolan is playing in the band. Scott Hill is playing in the band still. Some guys that have been longtime Skid Row folks. But this kid that opened, Eric Grunwald, I believe is how it's pronounced. He came out and I thought, oh, this is going to be cheesy. I'll be honest with you. I saw him. He walked out. He reminded me of something from the London punk scene back in the 80s. He's got this spiked hair. He's in a leather jacket with skinny jeans on and all this. And he looked, I mean, very skinny to begin with. But he came out, and the first song he did, the whole crowd is like, stop what you're doing and watch this guy. And by the end of the show, people saying Sebastian Bach who. I mean, honestly, and I like Sebastian Bach back in the day. I think he's gone a little off the rails lately with a lot of his stuff, but Sebastian Bach, and I've seen him play solo, and he does a great job without the band. And most guys can step up and play cover, the Skid Row songs and do all that kind of stuff. But this guy, this fresh talent here, this young man who came out on the stage, this Grunwald fella, blew me away. And I think I see some people on here. Billy Sutherland was there. He's saying amazing. Dirk Turner said he wails. It's interesting because he surprised the hell out of me with this. And, they talked about a new song that's coming out and played it. The Gang's All Here. Great song. I think, it may do well. People just aren't into metal anymore. That's the sad part about it, or rock and roll for that matter. But this kid, after being cast as the lead in his high school production of Queen musical, We Will Rock You. All right. He put down a guitar to focus on singing. And then that led him to a job hosting karaoke. Of course, every musician's got to have a gig, right? And one of the songs he performed for the karaoke crowd was 18 in Life. And he took that rendition to Swedish Idol, the Swedish version of American Idol, and won it in 2009. Now he's living his dream. This is like the movie Rockstar almost. He's living his dream, singing with the guys whose posters he had on his wall type thing. And this Eric Grunwald just blew me away with his vocals. Just absolutely incredible. So I highly recommend it. If you like Skid Row, go see them. Hi, Gary Leisure. Thanks you for being here. Gary's got a gig going on Tuesday night at Heather's, guys. Open mic night there if you want to check that out. All right. Stephanie said awesome as well. So that was our Thursday night. And by the way, I've got to give shout out to the Rose Music Center. One of the greatest places to see a concert. They have no hangups, zero hangups. You go to some other venues in the area, and y'all know what I'm talking about. Other venues in the area who have the Gestapo working the gates and the grounds. And gosh, God forbid you step out of the aisle or something and dance or do something and look like you're enjoying yourself. The Rose, no hangups. Great crowd, great fun, and really, really good stuff. And Gary throwing in the Sebastian Bach out of the band. Yeah. So Sebastian Bach had his whole series of issues, and we could get into a whole show on him. But I did see him with a group of guys. I mean, Dee Snider, Sebastian Bach, they all did their songs and stuff. It was good. It was good. Hey, Deb, how are you? Thanks for being here. So as we talk about our weekend, and if you guys saw somebody play over the weekend, just as Glenn did a minute ago there, throw it in the comments. He said he saw DV8 at St. Mike's Festival. I understand they absolutely smoked it there, and I'm glad for them. We stayed pretty close to home this weekend. Had a lot going on and a lot of yard work going on and things like that. So we were able to get out and enjoy a weekend. Jim's throwing in his. I'll let you all take a peek at that in the comments. Thank you for that, Jim. But pretty good. Yeah. Okay. Thank you for that, Jim Kilroy. We'll leave that up there. And no, I didn't see your comment on Winger, Gary. It must have blown off the screen too fast for me there. Throw it in, copy it and throw it in again, and I'll look at it. And Rick and Trina said they saw Stephanie Maples with Don't Tell Steve. She's always a crowd pleaser. She is. So that's our Thursday night. Going to move on. Friday night. Took a trip right up 5 minutes from the house, Austin Landing. They do these events at Austin Landing where they have live music and food trucks and all these fun things. And there was a fundraiser going on, Skylar Kukin Memorial Scholarship Fundraiser. 3 young ladies who lost their lives in a tragic vehicle accident in Bellbrook years ago. And her mom, Kelly, puts this on every year so she can raise money for scholarship. And this year it was at Austin Landing, along with the concert that was going on with Escape from their Journey tribute band. And it's spelled funky, but Escape, this guy's voice, man, he sounded like Steve Perry. He did. Really, really good. If you're going to do a tribute, he had the pipes for it. Not necessarily the look, but he had the pipes. And the band was tight as well. But I had to laugh because I just got to throw it in there a little bit because I've seen a lot of Journey done by the group at the Bell and the Bear and the house band, and they rivaled these guys. These guys are touring, doing Journey nonstop, but it was a good show. Huge crowd at Austin Landing. Beautiful night, beautiful weather, great food trucks. Shout out to El Masan in the Cuban sandwich, yummo. And it was a good time. Yeah. And that was part of our Friday night. And Saturday night, Don't Tell Steve killed it at Kramer's. Stephanie's back. I love it. Love that she's back after her vocal surgery and doing it. Chris Reese, he was in Toledo. Thank you for that, Chris Reese. And Gary said the reason the Winger show was short was no Rob Beach. He's touring across the pond with another band. Okay. Winger was winging it. Yeah, well, they were short. They were the opener. So, yeah. And it wasn't that it was bad. It was good stuff. I mean, Winger's always good. It just, it was a little flatter than the other two bands. I'll say that. I'll just, that's my take on it. And thank you for that, Kathy Laverty. Appreciate that. And I'm sorry, Kara throwing that in there. I thought that was Kathy. I must have misread that. Kara, thank you for that. Keep them coming, people. I'm going to keep talking here because I'm going to run out of time if I don't, because I have a huge lineup to talk about. So we left Austin Landing about 9:00, bugged down to Heather's, which is, a 10-minute drive. Went to Heather's on the patio, a group called Smithville South there. They were playing and didn't get a chance to catch a lot of them because we had another stop to make as well. But this was their debut at Heather's. And interesting set list that Smithville South had. And they were playing to a crowd who obviously know them and have followed them. I don't know anything about that band. I've never really had any engagement with them or anything on the show here with them, but they seem to be doing well with the crowd they had. And we were one and done and rolled out of Heather's after seeing Smithville South. Took a few pictures. They're on our page if you want to catch some photos of them. Had a female keyboardist playing 3 different keyboards and such and all that. Good sound. And then Short of Stable at Mr. Burroughs Tavern. And can I just say, first of all, what a nice bunch of people Short of Stable are. And I've had a chance to work with them in the last few weeks quite a bit. We worked there at Springfest in the Berg, and Mike May ran the sound for that. We've had some fun stuff going on, and Tiffany has a powerhouse voice. They had the crowd rocking at Mr. Burroughs Tavern, and they're a good show. Tiffany's full of energy on the stage. Mike is always funny, and gosh, Adam, let me tell you, on the bass, you won't find a more dynamic and animated bass player than Adam Montgomery. So, check out Short of Stable, guys. If you like 90s tunes, they play a lot of 90s songs and do them very well. And even Harlan, the sound guy, got up and sang harmonies, and I was kind of wowed by that. He can sing. I didn't know that, but Harlan sang with them, and just a really fun time at Mr. Burroughs. A little scaled down, stripped down version. Mike was playing an acoustic versus the normal electric with the band and all that. And unfortunately in Burroughs sometimes, or should I say fortunately, that works better in Burroughs than being a super loud band or whatever, because it's a small place and has only 95 seats or something. So the acoustic thing really worked with them, and Tiffany slayed it as always. So we had a chance to catch them at the end of the night on Friday night. And that was our Friday here in local music. Then, but wait, there's more. 9 acts I got to see. Well, 10 if you count Sunday. 10 if you count Sunday. But let me keep rolling here. Keep them coming, and guys out there, if you have something Throw it in there. Please throw it in there. Let us know. What else we got? I don't know. What is that? Michael, I think I missed something where you said this coming Saturday. I must have missed something, some other comment there. So I'll just throw that up there. Let's see what else. Saturday night, Liars for Hire at Heather's. Now here's a group that plays songs that you don't always hear bands play, and I love it. Things like Thin Lizzy, The Boys Are Back in Town, things like that. They do a variety of stuff, and they are a younger to older band. I mean, when I say that, I mean the age range of the band is not, it's not like a bunch of young kids playing, or it's not like a bunch of old men playing. It's a wide variety, and the players really complement each other. The only thing I can say about Liars for Hire that was a little bit tough was, and again, the sound is always so important. They're doing sound from the stage, and I get it. You don't want to pay a sound guy. You're not making that much money to pay a sound guy, all those kind of things. But the guitarist was overpowering the vocals so many times because the guitar amp was pointed at the ceiling, and it was bouncing off the ceiling of the tent and really brutal in the back. So that's my only thing. And that's just, and when you're all on the stage playing, you set up the sound when nobody's there, and then you start playing, you don't really know what's happening out there without a sound person. And it's the importance of a sound guy, but also the importance of somebody taking a little trip out into the crowd when you're not, or if you got a wireless or something, guitar, go out there and take a little peek and see what you got going. So other than that, though, they're a superb band. We have so much fun seeing them. They're fun guys. They put on an interesting show. They interact with the crowd so much. And if you get a chance, guys, follow them. Liars for Hire. Really, really good stuff. Make some comments if you're out there. And Tiffany saw her breakfast as well. Well, it was almost brunch at that point, but yeah, got to see Tiffany, her daughter, and her son. They were working, all that stuff, but good stuff. And always fun with Short of Stable, guys. Follow, if anybody we talk about on here, please follow their page. And what I said about Liars for Hire, by no way is that a negative. That's just a little observation, man. And those guys, when they were playing, I mean, they're a fun band. They could benefit from a sound guy. They could, but again, you got to charge more to get a sound guy in there. And that's how it works. So the band makes a few dollars at least when they're playing to the crowd. What do you got, Scotty Long? Hope you had a great weekend too. Yes. Beautiful weather over the weekend. Not so much this week. Let's get the rain out of here by Wednesday. I'd like it to be out of here by Wednesday for my Name That Tune at Heather's. I never like a rainy night, even though it's under the tent. Rainy nights always slow it down a little bit. So we would love to have a sunny day there and 80 degrees. That'd be nice. Music and Mason this Friday night. That band. Thank you for that. Mike for that shameless plug. And Gary throwing in some. So, yeah. And I'm talking about Liars for Hire, Scotty, if you just came in when I was talking about the sound thing, because Harlan does a good job of taking good care of them, taking care of Short of Stable. And Skip says, Eddie Rabbit loves rainy nights. And Skip's the only guy who can't go out in the audience and listen to their own sound because he's playing the drums. It's hard to strap that kit to you and walk out into the audience. It is. But Skip, great job. Great fun you guys were on Saturday night. Appreciate you very much. Thanks for coming by and saying hi. And you had a good group there of people that know you and love you. And that's what was so cool about it. It was. So then to wind up our Saturday night, we ended up at Mr. Burroughs again, back and forth up State Route 741 all weekend, crying out loud. And oh my goodness, crying out loud, absolutely smoking it at Mr. Burroughs on Saturday night. They had the crowd jamming. It was a great show. They have a new lead singer, and let me tell you, they have taken it to an all new level. Crying out loud, rocking it out. 3 lead singers in that band, basically. Okay. And everybody else can sing too. So, but 3 lead singers, if you really want to put it that way. You got Sarah, you got Stephanie, and then the new guy, who's not really a new guy, from 5 Story Plunge, John Norkus, doing it. And man, did he have the pipes. And they picked some great songs to do with him. Their list was unreal fun. And they bounce it around too. They hit the 90s, the 80s. I mean, they're rocking it out. And the girls, when they sing, it's good. It is very good. And they had the crowd just blown up. It was crazy fun. It was Rick's birthday, one of the owners of Mr. Burroughs. And we had a great time there as we stopped in and enjoyed that. Stephanie, it was so much fun. And you have some new songs in the set as well, which I really admired. And thank you for wowing us with those. And I didn't post that picture of you. I'll just say that. We'll leave it at that. You know what I'm talking about. I know what I'm talking about. But I left that one alone. I did. And Dirk Turner playing bass, man, thank you so much. I always enjoy a night with Crying Out Loud. And then Stephanie kind of bounces over to White Knuckle Weekend as well. And they're going to be playing Heathers this weekend. So check that out if you can. And Dave is in here too. Thank you, Dave. Speaking of guitarists, rocking the house with Crying Out Loud. What a band. You guys are so damn deep in the band. You are. I mean, you guys make it happen. And you make it happen. And Stephanie's laughing and Billy's saying, come on, post it. Well, you never know where it'll show up, Billy. You never know where it might show up. We got the whole band here from Crying Out Loud. Thank you guys, man. It's great to have you here being with us today on our Monday weekend update. And you were a great way to cap off a weekend on a Saturday night, stopping in there. Like I said, we took in Liars for Hire for a bit and then ran up to see you guys. So got to see some great music over the weekend. Thank you to Winger, Warrant, and Skid Row on Thursday night. Escape on Friday at Austin Landing, Smithville South at Heathers, Shortest Stable at Burroughs, Liars for Hire at Heathers, and Crying Out Loud at Burroughs as well. And one final music note that we had over the weekend, and that was the Schuster Center last night for Mean Girls. Now, a lot of young people there, obviously, they love that movie. The musical was fantastic. Every time I go to the Schuster for a musical show, I am amazed and wowed by the talent of the young people that are up there on the stage, young and old. But I've got a little program in front of me. Let me mention this little girl that was the lead, English Bernhardt. Oh my. I will say she was Katie in Mean Girls. English did a fantastic job. She looked like she was having so much fun on that stage. It was just like it was just a fun day at the park for her. And a young man named Eric Huffman, who played the character Damien, and the girl Janice, whose name was Lindsay Pierce. And I'm just going to say that Lindsay Pierce has unbelievable vocals as well. And just if you go down through the cast list and read their accomplishments and so on, I mean, it's really quite crazy. Nadina Hassan, who was Regina George. Nadina has been on Broadway, in West Side Story, all those kind of things. So great fun time with me and Mrs. All Around Town last night at the Schuster Center. And next stop is Jesus Christ Superstar there, I think, that we're going to get to catch. So Glenn throwing in a plug for the Northern Kentucky Hall of Fame induction. Okay. So maybe, I bet that means postponed, not posted, but it's always postponed because of rain. How many times last year did it get postponed? They need to move that to August or something. They do. All right, guys, that's going to wrap up the show today. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you to all those bands we got to see. We had a wonderful weekend of music. And remember, guys, we are here to support live local music. Please hit the share button on the show if you're involved in any of these bands. Share it with your fans, your friends. And on Thursday, it's most important that we share that show and get it out there to people so they know who's playing out across the area. And what venues are bringing you live local music, because they're the ones who keep it rolling and the ones that make it all happen. So thank you to all the venues as well. and their staff for kicking butt over the weekend and taking care of all those customers. Tomorrow, Top 5 Tuesday at 5 o'clock. I want to make a programming note, though. Johnny Fink on Wednesday, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. If you can't watch it live, watch it afterwards. Going to have an in-depth interview with Mr. Johnny Fink, who's just back from the International Blues Challenge in Memphis, Tennessee, where he was in the top group there. And we'll be talking to Johnny Fink of Johnny Fink and the Intrusion on Wednesday with the band this week. So Tuesday trivia at Mr. Burroughs Tavern, 7 o'clock. Wednesday, Name That Tune at Heather's. I'll be there for that. And Thursday, Who's Playing Out, brought to you by Froggies and Monroe right here on Haul Around Town Radio. I mentioned at the beginning of the show, the 78th anniversary of the D-Day invasion. And this song was written by Miss Karen Waldrop. She's a national recording artist, traveling all over the country. Look her up, Karen Waldrop, and give this song a like on her page if you can. And Hunter Juergens, who wrote this with her, along with Jim Pee Wee Martin, 101 years old, helped write this song. This is called Normandy. We're going to leave you with that in remembrance of all those who gave so much sacrifice on this day 78 years ago.
Machine guns going and dropping the bombs. And that's just the way things went. And would I do it again? Damn right I would.
101st, first to fight on the 6th of June to save the world that night. 1944, never fought before. Teenage kids all geared up, ready to win that war. We sat outside his hand-built home and he told me about his life. 100 years old, remembering every moment of that fight. In the morning, the storms rolled in. It was completely silent, jumping into open fire. Explosion, one continuous flame. A hell of a sight to see. Normandy, Normandy. He said that's another thing they don't understand. We had to win the war, risk losing this free land. We sat outside his hand-built home and he turned on the porch light. I asked him if he'd do it again. He said, you're damn right. In the morning, the storms rolled in. It was completely silent, jumping into open fire. Explosion, one continuous flame. A hell of a sight to see. Normandy, Normandy. Yeah, the odds were stacked against them, and nothing added up. But somehow, by the grace of God, it was enough. They held on 'cause they had to, but some had to give it up. In Normandy, Normandy, never forget the heroes who kept us free. In Normandy, Normandy, sacrificed it all that day. Normandy.
You're as valuable to this country today as we were in World War II. Don't you ever forget it.